Everyone, so today I'm going to show you a lovely smoky eye with our palette 2. First of all, I'll show you how I use this for a daytime look. It's super duper easy, and then we'll go on to do a little bit of a fancy smoky eye for you guys. I have hooded eyes, which means that when you're actually looking straight on, you can't always see the color on my lids here, and there's a little bit of overhang, for want of a better phrase. So I'll show you how to apply the color so that you can actually see it. Okay, so I've already done my eye prep. Now I'm going to take Honourable, which is this shade here, and we're going to pop that all over the lid. Now bring that up a little bit higher. When you're using your blending brush, which is the one I'm using just now, we just pat it on, and then we get up to the top part, and I take that just above here in a really easy little V. Okay, so you would pat, pat, pat all over, and then I just pat on in a little V shape, smudge a little bit in there into the crease, and that's all I would do for my day look. Now you can see that my color is coming a little bit above towards my eyebrow, so that when I'm actually face on, it's really difficult to do straight on when you're thinking about it. When you're actually straight on, you can see the color up here a little bit. Okay, that's also good if you wear glasses, because then you're going to be able to see it out width of your eye, depending on the size of your glasses. Okay, a really common mistake that people make when they're doing a smoky eye is to pop a little bit of color on and then leave it and hop straight to the dark color. You want to make sure that you have a really, really strong base. So as we progress to our evening look, we're going to take a little bit more of that Honourable, and we're going to just build up that base to make sure we have a really, really, really strong color that's going to last the night, which we know it will because it's unique makeup, but it's not going to get patchy or anything like that because you put a really strong base off your eyeshadow on there. Okay, we're going to do the same here. Now don't worry too much if you have a rigid or it looks messy at the side. The reason that we do our makeup first, our eye makeup first, is so that we can do a cleanup. As I'm sure Sabrina will have shown you in the palette 1 video, we can always do a cleanup. And you always want to do, especially if you're doing a nighttime smoky eye, more dramatic eye, you want to make sure that you do that cleanup afterwards. Between all of our color changes, we're going to use our color swatch to get the last shade off the brush. Now we're going to move on to our darker color. For this one, we're going to use Cocky. And we're going to bring that from about halfway across the eye out to our outer V, which is going to be blended out as well, okay? But your first tip for this is don't put too much on your brush. It's much easier to build and add color than it is to remove. And we're putting a little bit in that crease as we build it up. This is the most popular part of your eye that people will miss, and we will always see a little, if you haven't put enough color on there, it will start to have that little bit of unevenness. Okay, now if that isn't dark enough for you, add a little bit more. Okay? And keep adding that color, doing your circular for blending. Now at this point we're going to do a little bit of cleanup. I'm going to use the Sun Veil, which is nice and moisturizing. It gives a little bit more sun protection if you're outside for our under eyes. But we want to start to clean this up just a little bit. We're not going to use too much more dark after this. And then I would love to show you how we're going to highlight up here and do something pretty fancy on the inside. So now we're going to use Blissful, this shade here, Make sure that you've cleaned off your brush. And we're just going to grab a little bit of that on the end of our brush. Blissful, that one was from palette 2. And give a little bit of a shimmery highlight over the top. Now you're going to grab your concealer and a lip brush. Excuse me. So we're going to put a little mini cut crease here as a little bit of fabulous shimmer for your night out. Better look at the right spot in the camera, Sabrina will kill me. So take some of your concealer on your lip brush, and then you're just going to go, so if you look at yourself straight on again and see where you want to put your shimmer. Okay, now we're going to do this quite quickly because we want it to be that little bit sticky. So what I like to do is just pat it on. Now if you have super young skin and you can just go woof, awesome. But if you're going to start pulling that skin because you're a little bit wiser like me, then we want to make sure that we are patting that on in a nice straight line across your lid, okay? And at this point it is good to stretch out that skin so that you get it on every single part. Now, you're going to take a little bit of your setting spray and you're going to spray it onto something. I'm just going to use the center of my palette here. Then you're going to take your deluxe brush, which we saw in the video yesterday, okay? Make sure it's nice and clean. Take your Blissful, this one here, get lots on your brush. Add in some of that setting spray that you've got on there, and you're going to pat that onto that concealer part. Now at the moment, it's going to look quite rigid in the middle. Do you see there's a line? Now we're going to build this up so it's lovely and sparkly, okay? Add a little bit more on. And make sure not to go over that line. It's quite nice having the concealer line there because you know exactly where to stop, okay? Then you're going to take your blending brush that you just used for that dark shade. Pop a little bit on, can you see? Pop a little bit on there. And you're going to use those circular motions and just blend it. So you're blending out that line of the concealer, and it means that it gradually starts to go out to that color. Okay? And it is just beautiful. I have never had so many compliments on my eyeshadow as when I've done this look. Okay, now we're going to pop on a little bit of liner. I hope you like this, by the way. Any questions that you have, just pop below. Now, if you're not used to using a liner, I'm using a brown one. You can use black if you like, but you can take it from where your eye ends and just do a stamp. With that triangle, the triangle end, like literally just stamp. Now try and keep your eye a little bit down. If you want to, sometimes I pop the mirror right underneath so that I can keep my eyes still closed, or mainly closed because of that hooded eye. Sometimes it's difficult to do your liner, but mainly closed and still be able to see, because also I'm not wearing glasses. My goodness, how old do I sound today? There we go. And then you just draw right into that line. This is incredibly easy to use. I just stamp it for the last parts. And that means that I can push right into the line and I have an even width of liner because it's the same all the way along. And then you wait for that to dry and it is not coming off. Or with liquid liners, do not move. There we go. which is especially useful for my eyes. I'm just letting that dry. For my eyes because of my hooded eye problems, right? Okay, so that is that eyeshadow look finished with our palette 2. I'm going to pop some foundation on and I'll put up a pic beside the video so you guys can see the finished look. And we will have our mascara on show with the lash serum. So the lash serum is just phenomenal for growing your lashes. We'll be showing that off later as well.